Hey, good morning, guys, in India. Good evening in California, and on a sleepy time in East Coast. So sure, I'm not Albert Einstein, but I'm pretty good. Okay, welcome you all. This is a MedBits webcast. My name is Raman Annamaraju. I'm the host. This is a kind of a different healthcare media channel where we simultaneously broadcast on several streaming platforms. So this is a kind of unique kind of a media channel. Is the methodology that the method we have is that I talk with the physicians, the different fields of physicians, hospital CEOs, and other kinds of hospital workers. Then I present the topic, and then I bring back, and then we talk about it. So I want to talk about today. It's very interesting. So this is a PubMed article. That's what they did. Listen to me please carefully. That's very important for doctors to. Innovation is a very critical. Science and technology are crucial in modern medicine. Societies devote enormous amounts of time, money, and effort to developing new diagnostic and therapeutic procedures. However, the fact that people now report higher rates of disability, symptoms, and a general dissatisfaction with their health and well-being calls us to rethink the functions of healthcare and medical education. There is a need for a new medical paradigm which should involve and reconcile the natural and the social scientific paradigms. Two cultures. Medicine should be viewed as an integrative bio psychosocial science. Therefore, medical education must involve the study of the biological structures and the psychosocial functioning of human beings, not as the separate systems but as the interactive ones. This mandate suggests that the physicians needs to become a sort of a neo polymath in a new renaissance. The new paradigm, however, should not demand the acquisition of a more and more information. Instead, the crucial principle would focus on the appropriate selection of information. That is my topic tonight. Present my topic, and she's going to be here with us during this time, and I'm going to bring her that in the bottom of the just let me do that. Okay. So, what is a neo-polymath physician? Physicians of the future. I was explaining the PubMed article, just I read it. So they were saying that the dissatisfaction among the general public, 6 out of 10 are dissatisfied with the American healthcare system. I actually you can extend that one to the extrapolate that into the every part of the world. Actually, the same thing everywhere going on. It's a very dissatisfaction. The reason could be several other things. That could be just not a physical medicine. Medicine means you're treating, physician means you're treating the physical symptoms. But I think you need to be a lot more than that. That's what the neo polymath physicians are supposed to understand, at least the concern about that. That's what I'm going to talk about that today. So, if you see that polymath is an individual whose knowledge spans a substantial number of subjects, known and drawn on complex bodies of knowledge to solve specific problems. You don't need to be expert in everything. You need to understand and get familiar and bring that knowledge back to that. For example, in medbits, I build upon a geometrical structures. For example, so physicians are in the old days. Physicians are poets, they are philosophers, astronomers, mathematicians, botanists, all kinds of things. So that is what we are going to explore that a little bit, and then see how it fits in the present day world. So there was I'm an Indian, so I have to start with India. India is the genesis for all the, actually, if you study more, India is the genesis for a lot of things. In the Sushrita he's a plastic surgeon. He was doing a rhinoplasty. You see that the left side on left to my side, you that the instruments there, they're surgical instruments. Actually, they're not that far from nowadays present day surgical instruments. This is a 1,000 years before Jesus Christ was born. So think about the one millennial things before that Jesus, that he had the instruments. He was doing rhinoplasty. So he wrote a book, Sushita Samhita. Samhita is a book. Is a the operational procedures, and he has extensively contributed to the Ayurveda medicine of Ayurveda, which is that Indian origins for that. And he wrote several books. That's why he's the one of the then the knowledge went from there to, is a very clear evidence in the history that went from there to Middle East and the Cambodia. There was a clear evidence actually. Buddhist monks used to come to learn Buddhas and everything. So they were taking these things to the other countries in the Far East. So there was a strong influence of India's medicine into the other parts of the world. But there is another one, Chinese, is independent China. Ji Hong is the Chinese third century physician. He's a very kind of strange kind of guy. He's actually he's a politician also. His father is a governor of a state, province, and his brother is a minister. He's a third century physician. Third century physician. Think about that, guys. 300 BC, 300 AD. Sorry. So what he did was, in 2015, there's a Dr. Tu Yu won the Nobel Prize for the malaria drug called artemisinin. Artemisinin, she actually discovered the drug artemisinin through the traditional Chinese medicine. The Ji Hong wrote a first book on the diseases itself. He wrote a pocket book for the small diseases, small pocket book they call. He took intermittent fevers. It's a malaria. He called intermittent fevers. You took the Chinese scrub. It's a Shanghai. I think that's, I'm saying right, I hope. Sweet wormwood, and you put it in the hot water, not too hot water, warm water, and then extract it the whole night, and then in the morning you drink it. And it is treating the malaria. So she understood that one. She didn't have any Western education. Dr. Tu Yu, she read the pharmacology, but she is a traditional Chinese medicine she studied. That's all she had, based on herbs and plants and animal bones and stuff. So what she did was, she took the Shanghai. I think that's what I thought. That's a pronunciation. Sorry if I do it wrong. And then she extracted the artemisinin compound from there, and then they gave it to Novartis. That's a now gold standard. Artemisinin compound is a gold standard for malaria treatment. So Ji Hong is the key to that. In the third century physician, he was a poet. He wrote a lot of he's writing poetry, and then also he was offered as a minister job, and he didn't take it. He went to the province of remote areas of China and started practicing near the mountains. That's why he found Shanghai, sweet wormwood medications. He wrote the books. So that's why he's one of the polymaths in the world of polymaths. So Ji Hong. I did a special show on him. Next time I will replay that one when you get a chance. You should watch it. So she won the Nobel Prize for that. But the biggest one is Einstein of medicine, is Avicenna. Is Iranian doctor, is an Iranian physician, is the first cardiologist actually. I'll tell you why I call him the first cardiologist. He's a philosopher, medical author. He wrote several books on him. He wrote books on the Encyclopedia of Medicine. He wrote books on medical ethics. Can you believe that? Medical ethics. He wrote several books on. You can give a master class on medical ethics. So the first book on cardiac diseases, Kitab Advait Kobe, is called. That's a book. Is a first book on cardiac diseases. He wrote a book, and also is why you call him first cardiologist is because he used the first time calcium channel blockers. Is that Zernab, an English yew tree. English yew tree is a poisonous tree. That you see that berries. You see They only grow near the cemeteries in England, but actually came from Iran. Actually, that was from Iran. He's Iranian physician. What he did was, these are, even you put two leaves, if you take two needles of the leaves, and then even the horse is intolerant for the toxins there, it dies immediate. Even the people with the 10 leaves, you eat it, humans can die. It's very dangerous tree. It's a very highly toxic tree. But the berries are very sweet, but inside the berry pit is also very toxic. You took it, you find it is giving that medicine to ease the heart problems in the 10th century. Is a 10th century physician. Okay, so he's giving the patients this one, this medicine called Zarnab. It is a Texas Becard. The botanical name is Texas Becard. I think I'm saying, you can ask all the botanical names. I am not sure, but that is what he did. He wrote extensively he wrote a books on six volumes of Encyclopedia of Canon of Medicine. They call it is 6 volumes. They are the standard textbooks in the West, East and West, for almost 700 years. He ruled the medical world. His books are so standardized around the world. He wrote extensively on pulsology and how that pulse. He was the inventor of the lie detector test. He used to watch that. Find out the girlfriend sickness. He used to watch the pulse and then ask them to recite the province and the street name and the addresses of a girl. He can tell you when the pulse is going up. He said that is the address of your girlfriend. So he was kind of they thought he has a magical powers, but he's a very influential. They call him Emir. Emir means prince. Prince of is a physician's physician. Is truly innovator. Is truly wrote books on medical ethics. United Nations instituted a prize is called on medical ethics on the Avicenna medical Avicenna Prize. Is they award that to the Institute for the ethical medicine, people who are proponents of the medicine ethics in medicine. So during that time, he wrote that, very important things he was writing is one of the ethics part of it is that the first one, think about that during this time. He was saying that Sushruta was also saying that a physician cannot distinguish between the friend and foe. You have to treat them all together same. So this is no personal, there's just nothing else there. You have to treat that's utmost sacred responsibility of the physician. That's what he was talking about, the ethics part of it. So he wrote that books. Then the next one is Italian. That's Avicenna is from Iran, and Italy has developed its own system. The next one is Girolamo Cardano. Is a physician. Everybody knows Galen, but I think is my favorite guy is a Girolamo Cardano. Is my kind of guy. He's a funny kind of guy. He's a physician. He's a mathematician. He's a gambler, right? He's a professional gambler. So I tell you what, he is so famous. He's a brilliant physician. Scotland invited him to be royal kings. He was a physician for royal kings. He was in the 1500s, 1600th century, 16th century physician he was. So what he did was interesting. What he did was he was doing he was the quadratic equations in the mathematics. If you throw a ball, you can tell that from the quadratic equation where the ball is going to be in 5 minutes, 10 seconds after that, 20 seconds after that, because you can follow the quadratic equation. It will tell you the location of the ball, and you throw that ball with the initial conditions if you know it. But the cubic equations are much more complex. That is, you have to reconstruct the third dimension, the unknown dimension. That is the cubic equation gives us. The PowerPoint that you're looking at now, the letters are the curved letters you're looking at it, prescripts, are done through the cubic equation. Otherwise, you could not do it. So cubic equations solutions are 3D. Now you do 3D reconstruction. Every doctor knows about 3D reconstructions. That is, you need a cubic equation for that, because that creates a third dimension. It imagines and comes up with the third imaginary. It reconstructs the missing dimensions. Actually, that's the power of the cubic equation. He solved that problem. In the 16th century, the secret is not some god. It is actually mathematical equations that secret. Everybody is secret about. He kept it for almost for 10 years under the table, for not publishing his secret. He promised to somebody that he doesn't want to publish it. So he published it. Eventually, he published this cubic equation. He became a famous physician who became a famous in the probability theory. He's a professional gambler. He used to lose a lot of money. He was a drinker also. Then he lost a lot of money, but he used to win also a lot of money. So he wrote a book on poker probability theory. He's the first guy who wrote a book on a game theory, actually. Gerlamo Gaetano is a truly a leader in he learned from whom he learned from all mathematics and anatomy classes from Leonardo da Vinci. His father was a classmate, is a friend of him, so he learned from him. But he was a kind of a black sheep because at the time he was considered as an illegitimate child, so they did not give him a job in Milan. So he got married and then he moved to the rural Sicily area and then started his practice. He's very rebellious and his children are all messed up and they spent all his money. He went through kind of a personal tragedies. But he's one of the most brilliant physicians and then came up with a mathematical solution for that is a really foundations of the Getter mathematics. Gerlamo Cardano is as good as Newton in my view in that sense for the cubic equations. So he's one of the prominent physicians he did. He's a physician, he's a mathematician, he's a gambler, professional gambler. He read a probability theory and is truly a polymath. The next one, René Laennec, is the one who invented the stethoscope, first stethoscope. 1826, I think 1816, there was a Tambura, that is in Mount Tambura, is Indonesia. There was the volcano was erupted, huge volcano. What happened was the ashes spread across the Europe. So 1816, there is the summer without the year is without a summer. They call 1816. They call year without a summer. In 1816, what happened was, so the people they're quarantined inside the homes the whole summer. Think about that, how many people died with the diseases. So when they go out, they breathe this, this ash, and then people have a lot of pulmonary problems, heart problems, all kinds of problems came out. So he was a physician, he's a prominent physician. So and also he's a wood carver, he's a carpenter. And so he was a very vivid flute player. He was playing a flute across the France. It's a hobby, that is. So he's a physician. Besides, he was a musician and a carpenter. And then he got the idea that there was a woman coming to his office. Then he doesn't want to put his ear to listen to the whispers of the heart or lungs. He doesn't want to put his ear close to the chest. So he thought about the flute and then came up with the idea. The first stethoscope was born. He created a first stethoscope listening through the still, if you see in Africa, they listen to baby hearts through that flute, actually. Similar kind of flute they listen. Even now, the midwives listen to that fatal heart. They listen to that even now. So he was the inventor of the stethoscope, first stethoscope. After 100 years, after 300 years, I think, 400 years, David Littman from Harvard invented the things about that, the stethoscopes you see. So he's a truly polymath of the century. The next one is Benjamin Rush. He is an American. He's a physician. He's a politician. He was a member of. Senator, I think. He is a social reformer. He was against during 1600. He was against 1700. He was against racial, the slavery. He was against opponent of. They consider him as a father of psychiatry. I didn't know that. He was considered as a father of psychiatry. Mental disease he classified as a disease, not a stigma associated with it. So they used to give a lecture. So there's a ticket that you see on the left side. That was a ticket they give to attend his lectures. The doctors used to attend his lectures. He's a Benjamin Franklin, but he's not a physician. That's why I didn't mention. Only I focused on the physicians who did other things in this context. but everybody is not dead people. There are a lot of living people or polymaths. Is one of my favorite doctor is a Bill Frist, is a senator from Tennessee. He was a Senate majority leader. He's a podcaster now. He's a Second Opinion podcast he does. I'm a great fan of him. He did a PEPFAR, one of the president's emergency plan for the AIDS relief, the largest budget for any single disease, $110 billion spent to the bill, PEPFAR bill, still is active. I met a couple of directors actually in person. Under the Obama director, under the Obama AIDS director, I met him, global health director. So he's a piece, he's a jewel of the that is Yates was arrested because of that, because of his vision. He was a very philanthropist, and he got the 5 honorary degrees from the black colleges, historically black colleges and universities. He got the 5 honorary degrees from the that one. He's a truly a philanthropist. His podcast is tremendous. I watch him. I'm a fan of him. He's a great. I interact with him. He's truly a great hero. He's a modern day polymath in my view. Without doing all political, is a bipartisan policy advocates, but without getting into any politics, he is a truly um, a polymath of the modern century. So there are a lot of millennials are coming as a polymath. Vidya Vaiswanathan is Indian, of course, you can say that. She's a Chinese historian. She is a physician, she's a writer, and she created a doctorswho create.com. She created a website, and then she was promoting that. And so there's Elizabeth Card is the next one. She's a painter and a visual artist and physician she is. That is a modern day. But what is the present day doctors need to learn? What do you need to do? Polymath means. What do you need to learn nowadays? The time has passed. It is different now. We see a different time. You don't see when I say polymath, you don't have to learn history. The concept, the inspiration behind that one, you need to learn different things. Now, for example, technology is a blockchain technology is a fundamental. Right now, blockchain technology gets a patient privacy. It's unbreakable privacy because it is immutable truth. Immutability is embedded in the blockchain technology. It's like a consciousness almost. Okay, it spreads across. You cannot find out where it is. It's a pure definition of democracy. Is the blockchain. So it is a mathematical expressions behind it is a solid. It is not it's unbreakable in that sense. Blockchain is a pure definition of democracy. If they vote for it, all of them are. I don't want to get into the too many technical details, but it is if you see 30,000 feet, that is a pure democracy. It is actually consciousness of the mathematics. So why do you need that patient privacy? Because the insurance companies are always aggressive. I remember when I was in California, the HMOs are coming up. They used to do recruitment on the fourth floor without elevator. So anybody patients go upstairs to the fourth floor, they recruit them, and they eliminate all the people and the people who could not make it up. So that they do now. They don't have to do that. They get the information from the web. So we have to have a lot of privacy. So blockchain can provide that privacy, utmost privacy. People have some misunderstanding. Blockchain, oh, it's still technology. No, sir. It is a mathematical function. It works on hash functions. It is a mathematical unbreakable functions. You cannot bypass. That crypto you cannot bypass. Period. Only God cannot break it. I can tell you that. Okay. So that is the power of the blockchain. So learn a little bit more about it, the blockchain that. So somebody says it's technology. It is technology, but this function behind it is purely power of mathematics behind it. So to protect the patient privacy, insurance companies, other people cannot use their data for wrong purposes. Then user experience is the one. Another one is you need to learn. My son is into user experience. That I talked with some people in California. So I learned recently. I tell you honestly, I was very fascinated by this subject. User experiences are care journeys. So for example, a patient wants to come to your office, doctor's office. So The moment a disabled patient coming there, for example, he needs to call the medical transportation or taxi or Uber, or somebody has to call, or she has to call, and then they make an appointment and then make sure that they come on time. Then they see in the front desk, they write all the important things, that medical history, they write it down, they give it to the front desk, and they go into the backside, they get the diagnosis and they get the treatment, they go home, they pick up the drugs and pharmacy. This is the journey. That journey, you cannot block it out. That's what the doctors are doing it. It is a very important journey. You need to follow that. That is an experience. That is, you can translate that into technology. That's called user experience. They define the steps for that and then experience for that, how to make it easier for them. So UX design and experience are the critical to understand it, at least on the top level. You have to understand the basic function of the user experience. How the you just, I give you some homework for you doctors. You go there and tell what is your patients, what kind of things the day he wants to come down to your office and all the way going back home. What are the steps he involves? Write down all the steps. That is a care journey. So then you can translate that into the technology. That is a least amount. But they define the care journeys are very important, not only for you, for the frustrated workers. The Shilpa is dealing with all the, burnout doctors, burnout nurses, burnout technicians. So she can tell you about that. The care journey for them is important. Why they're burnout? So all those things are important. The next one is you have to understand the quantum physics a little bit. I tell you why. Because when you deal with the people, so we don't understand the brain and the mind are two distinct properties of the nature. It's not an emergent. Some people think it is an emergent. Mind is an emergent property of the brain, but some people don't think. But in that case, a conscious observer, for example, pain, is one of the examples I can give you. Pain is a very conscious observation. In people in India, they sleep on nails, and the guy, somebody's ant bites them in America, they freak out. In India, they sleep on nails. Some people, it's like just sleep never bad. So it is all mental understanding of the mind. It is quantum physics gives you that the consciousness they play the role in the quantum physics, observer and observed. There is two fundamental areas that distinguishes between the observer and observed. That's why you need to learn the quantum physics. I'm going to give a class on that one. I have not done that yet. I'm a physicist. I have a master's in physics. I did computers and then spent 30 years in healthcare. Good or bad, good or all those messed up. But this is the things that the new polymaths, that is what the polymaths of the new physicians have to learn. You have to learn all these new subjects. And it's not that difficult. You need to take understanding, at least to show interest. Then you start learning that everything fall in place, and the ideas will come out. You'll be surprised. It is hard for this is unfortunate. The technology, there is a Plato gave a very, very true ideas. Plato says that, it's a westernized Bhagavad Gita. Plato's philosophy is, Plato says that there are two worlds, ideal world and the world of ideals and world of objects. Objects are, say, I applied in healthcare, for example, objects are basically doctors, nurses, hospitals, infrastructure, health plans, all of them are objects. The ideals are taking care of sick, feeling the pain. Those are all ideals. He says that ideals are the real. The objects are shadows of the ideals. So to understand that, only one interaction has to happen between them. Because right now, what is happening is like ideals are, the objects are telling what should be the ideals are. Technology is telling what should be the care is. That's why doctors are frustrated. Because the object in the mirror is telling you how the subject should move. That's unfortunate. That's bad news. That's why you need to learn a little bit of these technologies. Thank you for watching.
We are retelling their stories through our patented designs that can be worn on scrubs, t-shirts, printed on conference bags, and endless other promotional materials. Daily Wear for Medicine is the first ever of its kind to create curiosity in medicine through visual art. We at MedBricks are celebrating unsung heroes of the past who made enormous contributions to the field of medicine through our unique campaign called Daily Wear for Medicine. You can wear it, carry it, and give it.